Welcome back to HPL. We're at the PvP Live Studios in Frisco, Texas, and this match is all tied up, deciding Game 5, and you know Muzzy's going to bring it home because I picked him to win.
No, I think Kaldi's going to bring it home because I picked him to win, but you guys can get out there on Twitter and use that hashtag HPL. Let everyone know what you think and who you're supporting in this match. You can tag PvP Live and also get on Facebook, like and comment, and see what's going on here in the match. Voice your opinion. That's what we want to know, but Game 5 is now getting underway. Someone's going to win and someone's going to lose, and that's what I like to see. This match getting underway right now.
And I love that you and I have this back and forth on who's going to win in this match, because if anyone does follow me on Twitter, they can see that I don't have the best record right now in picking winners, and I have a pretty funny photo up because I lost one earlier today.
Boot on the head was the picture taken. Kaldi going to go with handlock again, and Muzzy's swapping back over to Rogue, and you know, Purple said in this matchup he loves the way that Rogue pans out against this match.
Yeah, I'm actually a pretty big fan of it myself. Your saps, if you time them at the right time with a huge, gigantic Blade Flurry, plus like a Tinker Sharp Sword oil, you can get through, you know, upwards of 20 damage in one turn to finish it off.
Would you say you're a fan of knives?
I don't know how to answer that.
You know, big daggers and fan of knives and Blade Flurries, oh my. So it's going to be weapon up. No actual minion pressure from Muzzy.
That's actually really big. He really needs one of those early.
Yeah, getting stuff on the board is such a critical proponent for this deck. You need to be able to couple it.
This is a big draw.
You need to be able to couple your tempo plays with pressure.
I like seeing this as well.
Yep, cycling the fan of knives early on. He does have two preparations in his hand.
He picks up a sprint next turn.
Yeah, these are all key cards, but he's got to get something going in terms of pressure. Kaldi going to add an Ancient Launcher to the board.
Muzzy really needs a sprint or a minion this turn badly.
This is a super important turn. Edwin Van Cleef is okay.
No, it's actually like not bad. He can do all kinds of stuff and deal with this Ancient. If he wants to like make a big Edwin Van Cleef, I'm trying to think of the best way to do this.
I don't think making a big Edwin Van Cleef is very strong here because you're looking at potential for big Game Hunter, Ironbeak Owl.
Well, yeah, he could make it like a 6/6, like play 2 spells here, like prep sap.
I think Deadly Poison Van Cleef is just totally fine.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be worried about something. If you make a 4/4 Van Cleef here, you got to be worried about this Ancient Watcher on this side of the board, though.
Yeah, still Ironbeak Owl would be a little bit of a threat, but I like to just go with the 4/4 Van Cleef and getting something going on the board. He does have 2 preparations in his hand, so lots of potential for tempo plays moving forward. And Kaldi quickly going to add Twilight Drake to the board to challenge this Edwin Van Cleef directly. But Muzzy, once again, with this kind of backup in his hand, you're going to see him start pushing. Pretty
good pickup here, too. He's got an Earthring Farseer if he wants to add another minion to the board, though there is a liability here if he does this because, yeah, you see him kind of second-guessing himself a little bit here, but he's going to do it because this Shadow Flame is going to be able to take out both of his minions here.
Yeah, I don't think he really has an option, though. I think he's got to get something on the
board.
Yeah,
he has to start doing stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and Kaldi, you know, going to evaluate this turn and see exactly what's going on. Is this the Shadow Flame turn? I definitely don't think it's bad, and he doesn't want to be taking too much more damage. He's going to go with Twilight Drake again. He's hunting for even bigger value. This will oftentimes force a second sap from Muzzy, too.
Yeah, you could have something like he could Twilight Drake, and he could still coin Dark Bomb, the Earthring Farseer, if he wants to this turn, but this still checks both of the minions on Muzzy's side of the board. If he does something like Dark Bomb, the Earthring Farseer here, then he still has Van Cleef checked going forward here by the Twilight Drake.
Yeah, does want to keep the board minimized, so... actually going to go Sun Fury Protector here.
This is also fine as well.
I think this is totally reasonable as well. Just make sure that you're getting damage pushed, but you know, Muzzy's going to have to expend a lot of his resources this next turn. Doesn't taunt up the Twilight Drake. Very interesting. Ooh, Azure Drake, a very nice pickup from Muzzy's side of the board. You know, is this going to be a turn where he decides he wants to push now?
Yeah, he's already seen 1 sap from him, so he's probably not playing around the second one here, and you've got to believe Muzzy's going to push this turn. He's going to get so much value off this Shadow Flame.
Oh, geez.
Oh, wow.
That is a major turn for Muzzy right now.
He's going to be able to chew through this Ancient Watcher here.
If this Tinker Sharp Sword lands on anything but the Azure Drake, oh, heartbreak for Muzzy. You know, is this a Blade Flurry turn? Do you take out this this Twilight Drake afterwards? You know, you do want to keep out of Shadow Flame range as well, and I think he's going to be Blade Flurrying straight away. Loses some damage there, but what can he do? And then after this, I have to believe he wants to protect his Azure Drake. That Earthring Farseer is bite the dust.
Yeah, the Earthring Farseer is going to bite the dust. This is you know, it wasn't the cleanest turn ever for Muzzy, but it's great. He doesn't get blown out by a Shadow Flame from here.
Yeah, at this point, though, Siphon Soul looking mighty tempting from Kaldi's side of the board. And not much action otherwise. I mean, you cannot risk dying to 2 extra points of damage.
Yeah, I think you just have to Siphon Soul here on this Azure Drake. But we've seen Kaldi make some interesting plays and be pretty aggressive in certain spots.
He could also Dark Bomb himself and then Molten Giant and Shadow Flame, and I think he's looking at that big picture right now.
Yeah, this is a great play as well.
We've seen so many people dark bomb themselves.
We've seen it a lot in the last
to
week.
get that mana advantage. So interesting that players have to do that at times. I mean, this is a prime example of players leveraging their life totals in ways to try to get the advantage. Pilot Shredder,
great one.
Pretty decent, but you know, he's got to deal 10 more points of damage still. This dagger's going to be the first one.
Yeah, Pilot Shredder was one of his better draws there. Something like Sprint would have been okay as well. It would have taken his entire turn, but he would have rebuilt a lot of what he had to give up to get to the spot.
Iron Beak Owl is not bad either. That's going to take out one of those bodies, but Kaldi's looking for bigger stuff here. I have to believe he's anti-Keelbot if he's dropping down this low. Yep.
Yeah, because the thing is, he can anti-Keelbot here. Muzzy's going to attack him. He's never just picking off this anti-Keelbot, and then you can still get value off of your Owl later.
Yep. 4 points of damage come crashing in now. Does he use this Deadly Poison straight away? Does he feel like he needs to save it? I mean, obviously you don't want to sap the anti-Keelbot, but you know, you don't want your Pilot Shredder.
I think you just want to protect your Pilot Shredder, because there's too many misses for you here. You can't afford to have your Pilot Shredder get checked by something like just an anti-Keelbot and then really miss from there. If you get a minion that has no power or no bearing on this game, you've pretty much lost from here.
And Kaldi once again in a position where it's not extremely comfortable for him. I think this turn's going to be Iron Beak Owl and Siphon Soul because he's looking at 7 points on the board. A spell and an Eviscerate would kill him from this position.
Yeah, there's a couple of cards that kill him from this situation, even if he plays something like a Taunter, so he's going to have to do something like Siphon Soul here. He still loses something like Tinker Sharpshot Oil behind the sap.
So just a 3-point dagger left for Muzzy, SI7 agent. An okay draw in this spot, but Iron Beak Owl is, you know, actually a little bit threatening right here. Every single minion that Kaldi keeps is important.
Yeah, and you might see him actually use his dagger to take care of this Iron Beak Owl if he's worried about something like Mortal Coil here.
I don't know if he can afford to do that. I think he's got to keep the damage pushing. That's exactly what he's going to do, but Mortal Coil or Defender of Argus able to shore this one up, and Kaldi looking like he's recovered this game completely now.
Oh yeah, it's definitely way advantages to Kaldi here from this point forward. Muzzy just kind of ran out of steam here in the middle of the game. Didn't pick up something like a Sprint, which he really needed. Didn't have an early minion to really get the pressure going. And Kaldi played a pretty great game here in the middle of it.
Yeah, Mountain Giant at 7 mana at this point is going to be more than enough.
Yeah, just an actual bargain. Who cares?
Any big minion. Blade Flurry is a dead draw for Muzzy at this point. He desperately needs some card draw to find these last few points of damage. You know, that Tinker Sharpshot Oil landing on the Azure Drake too, that cost him in a big way as well.
Yeah, I just love this 8/8 for 7 here. Just beat it.
Yeah, I mean, what's Muzzy supposed to do against this? And then Kaldi, he's going to be able to play Sylvanas behind this and also Defender of Argus this. I have to believe he's completely recovered at this point.
Yeah, this game is almost out of reach from this point if Muzzy doesn't get something insane this turn.
Yeah, he needs Sprint is the draw he needs.
But he has no more preps left in his deck either, so he can't even have a gigantic turn after the Sprint
well,
as well.
He's not quite dead yet. He falls down to 18 and he's looking at
quite dead yet.
He's looking at 50. He's looking at 17 damage on the other side of the board. That's not a Sprint this turn, and it's not enough damage. It's only 5 right now. And just looking to get it done. Has to do something to buy as much time as he possibly can. But then once he sees this Sludge Belcher, I think this deal's going to be sealed up.
Yeah, it looks like Kaldi's going to move on with the win here. Unfortunate for Muzzy here. He had a decent mid game, but the early and late game never really came together for him here. It was just too much to deal with from Kaldi.
Yep, just going to dagger up again. No other action to be played. And Kaldi, a couple of draws I think will absolutely seal this game. Sludge Belcher is going to be hard enough to beat for Muzzy. You're going to be dropping down to 10 life this turn and then staring down more than 10 damage on the board.
Yeah, you're gonna see him. He'll never life tap in this situation either. Yeah, you can't afford to give Muzzy any chance of like double Eviscerate out.
Yep, and this is the big turn. If Muzzy can draw something that gets him out of this scenario, he might have a glimmer of hope in this game. Fan of Knives, maybe into a Tinker Sharpshot Oil. Backstab, unplayable at this point, and not enough damage to finish this one off. Muzzy just pointing the Eviscerate at himself. Not going to go with that, though. Doesn't have quite it in him to deal that damage to himself and not really do anything else. And Kaldi, more than enough pressure to keep this game clean, and that's going to do it. He's going to take this series 3 games to 2.
Yeah, well, I guess I was wrong, Nathan.
Yeah, I mean, someone's got to be wrong and someone's got to be right. That's usually the way it works when one person has to win and one person has to lose. Beautifully played match by Kaldi.
Great match on both sides.
Seeing him mix it up and then fall back to his control to get things done. You know, it looks like he had Muzzy a little bit figured out here. The fact that the strategies he was going to play maybe could struggle with some of these bigger threats in the late game after he'd answered what was going on.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Muzzy, choose a class and kind of stick with it going into this match, but he still played really well. He got it to a deciding 5 games, turned it around there at the end, but Kaldi was a little bit too much for him in that last game. Drew a little too many cards and dealt with everything that he did in that game. The Rogue deck, if it doesn't have a minion stick for over return, it's really hard for him to win from there.